welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
For you, listening right now, and, well, for us too,
Yeah.
this is going to be a really different kind of exploration today.
It really is.
We're not digging through stacks of data or, complex historical arguments this time.
No spreadsheets today.
Definitely not. Instead, we're diving into presence.
Yeah.
Into that quiet moment.
Yeah.
That moment we often spend pretty much our whole lives trying to avoid, right?
But that moment we stop, when the running finally ceases, even if just for a breath.
Exactly, when we stop running.
And we can start right here, actually right now. There's no grand theory needed just yet.
Yeah.
Just your immediate experience.
Okay.
Before we even unpack the ideas, I'd invite you, just for a second, notice your body, right in this moment. What's actually happening?
Mm-hmm.
Is your breath maybe a little shallow? Caught up high in your chest, perhaps?
Yeah, I notice that sometimes.
Or your shoulders? Are they tight? Pull up a bit, almost like you're bracing for something. And is there maybe that little hum, that subtle restlessness, that tiny, or maybe not so tiny urge to grab your phone? Or open another browser tab? Anything, really, other than just being here.
That feeling of needing to be productive or just distracted.
Yes. That restless, searching energy. That's the thread we're going to pull on today. That's our doorway in.
It feels so foundational, that urge to fill the space. We dress it up, don't we? Call it ambition or maybe just boredom.
We rationalize it constantly.
But exploring this through the lens of, well, Gestalt awareness, it makes it so clear. It's not really the silence we're afraid of, is it? It's what the silence might actually reveal.
That's the heart of it.
Yeah. This profound discovery waiting underneath all the static. So our mission today, I guess, is to really understand why we run, why we build these systems to avoid that internal, emptiness, maybe.
And why we keep interrupting ourselves.
Yeah.
Our own natural flow.
Right. And how maybe, just maybe, by learning to actually stop, we can finally find our way back, complete the journey home, so to speak.
Okay, so let's ground this right away. When we talk about emptiness or the void, let's put aside the big philosophical ideas for a moment.
Okay. Not poetry then.
Not right now, no. We're talking about something felt, something visceral in the body.
Like a physical thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For so many people, this emptiness isn't abstract. It shows up as, well, maybe a tightness across the chest, or that hollow feeling deep in your stomach.
I know that one.
Or sometimes it's the opposite. Not emptiness, but a frantic fullness, racing thoughts, just chaos upstairs. Not useful thoughts, just pure panic almost, screaming like an alarm bell. Do something, anything. This is wrong.
Yeah, that feeling of wrongness, like something is fundamentally off if you just sit still.
It's that pressure, that internal demand. Eradicate this feeling now, and it creeps in, doesn't it? When the workday ends or the kids are finally asleep, the screen goes dark.
That's when it gets loud. In the quiet.
Precisely.
And the things we do. Wow. We get so creative in our avoidance. Looking through the source ideas here, I see myself all over this. It's almost embarrassing.
It's universal, though. Not embarrassing, just human.
Like rewatching that same TV show for the 10th time. Not
Yeah.
because you love it that much anymore, but just because it's predictable. Your nervous system just wants familiarity, not anything new or challenging.
No ambiguity, safety in the known. Or cleaning. Cleaning the kitchen at midnight when it's already spotless.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Creating busyness out of thin air. Or the planning. Planning tomorrow down to the minute, even though it's already planned. It gives you that little hit of control, doesn't it? Over the future, because the present feels
unmanageable.
Yeah.
Or just empty. And what about the calls? Or the scrolling? Picking up the phone, calling someone. Not really to connect, but just to fill the silence, to have noise. Or scrolling endlessly through feeds, again, not for information, just input, stimulation.
anything but the quiet. It's a whole system, isn't it? Really sophisticated, dedicated avoidance.
It is. And here's the really crucial piece, the compassionate part we need to offer you, the listener, right now. This isn't weakness. That's hard to believe sometimes. It feels like a flaw, like something I should be able to just stop.
I understand why it feels that way. But it's not a spiritual failing. It's not laziness. It's survival. Pure, biological, intelligent survival.
Okay, hang on. Survival. How can running away from stillness be survival? That seems backwards.
Because somewhere along the way, maybe way back in childhood or maybe during a really stressful period later on, your system learned that stillness was dangerous.
Dangerous, how?
Because silence is where the ghosts live.
Ghosts, okay, unpack that. What kind of ghosts?
The unfinished emotional business. The tears you swallowed because crying wasn't safe or accepted. The anger The rage, maybe, that you learn to label bad or unacceptable because expressing it threatened your connection, your safety, your belonging.
Wow.
Or those deep, deep longings. For real intimacy, maybe? Or just for rest, for authenticity, the things that got dismissed, perhaps? Called childish or too sensitive or inconvenient by the people around you.
So the emptiness, it's not empty at all. It's full of all that stuff, that life we push down. Exactly. The body holds on to it. That unprocessed energy accumulates. It gets stored.
So the running, the staying busy, the distracting, it was actually smart back then. It kept things together when the environment wasn't safe for the real feelings.
Brilliant, even. In Gestalt terms, we'd call that an interruption. Or maybe a better way to put it is a creative adjustment.
Creative adjustment. I like that. It sounds less pathological.
It is. You created this mechanism. Maybe it was chronic people-pleasing, or always being hyper-aware, hyper-vigilant, maybe workaholism, or staying totally in your head, intellectualizing everything. You built that, and it worked. It protected you.
How so?
Well, imagine a home where showing big feelings, sadness, anger was met with shouting, or maybe silence, withdrawal, or ridicule. You learned very quickly, didn't you? Swallow it. Keep the peace. Stay small. Stay accepted. That was incredibly adaptive then.
But now?
But now, that same adjustment, that same pattern, it keeps you locked up. It costs you your ability to just be here, your vitality, your capacity for real rest and connection. It imprisons you in the past solution.
Which leads to that paradox you mentioned. We run from the emptiness.
And the running just makes it louder, amplifies the signal.
It feels like it's chasing you.
It really does. Think about that analogy, the one about the forest. It helps make it concrete. Imagine you're walking in the woods, it's getting dark.
Okay.
Suddenly you hear a noise, a rustle in the bushes, maybe something that sounds like a low growl. What's the instinct?
Panic. Run.
Exactly. Instead of pausing, getting grounded, turning towards the sound, trying to figure out what it is. Is it a real threat? A bear? Or just the wind? A falling branch? You just bolt.
Yeah. Adrenaline kicks in.
You run like crazy. But here's the thing. As you run, the sound seems to follow you, doesn't it? It gets louder in your mind. Now you're not reacting to the actual sound anymore. You're reacting to the terror.
Amplified by your own heartbeat, your ragged breathing.
The darkness, the uncertainty. You're absolutely convinced a monster is chasing you. But maybe the sound wasn't chasing you at all. Maybe it was just there.
Or rabbit. Or nothing.
Exactly. Your running, your refusal to stop and listen with curiosity, that's what turned a potential message, maybe even a harmless one, into this huge, terrifying monster. The emptiness is like that sound.
It's not necessarily a monster.
It's a message. It's stored energy, stored life, waiting. And until you stop, turn around, and actually listen to it, your mind will keep screaming, "Danger, run!"
Wow. Okay, so the terror isn't the void itself. It's the terror of all the life, the feelings, the energy we stuffed into the void thinking we were getting rid of it.
Precisely. Waiting to be felt, to be released, to be integrated. And that direct felt experience, that visceral reality we just talked about, brings us right into some core Gestalt ideas. Specifically, figure and ground.
Okay, figure and ground. How does that help us understand this feeling of emptiness?
Think of the ground as the context, the background hum, the stillness, the silence, the potential. The emptiness we've been discussing, it's the field we exist in.
Right, the backdrop.
And the figure is what emerges from that ground. It's the specific thing that grabs your attention right now. A need, a feeling, a sensation, hunger maybe, or a sudden wave of sadness, or an idea sparking.
So normally things just pop up from the background, get dealt with, and fade back.
In a healthy, flowing system, absolutely. It's fluid, figures emerge naturally, you feel hungry, sensation becomes figured, you become aware you need food, you get energy to go get it, you eat, action, contact, you feel satisfied, the hunger fades back into the ground, you rest, life just flows. The ground supports this cycle.
Okay, I follow. But what happens when we're scared of the ground itself? Scared of the stillness?
That's the key. When we fear the ground, the quiet, the present moment, the emptiness, we try to control it. We try to silence it or numb it or just fill it up constantly with noise and activity.
So we're afraid of the quiet, so we make noise. But then the quiet just feels louder somehow, like it's haunting us.
Exactly. That's the terrible trick, the paradox of avoiding emptiness. By putting so much energy into suppressing the ground itself becomes the main event. It becomes the dominant figure.
Whoa. So the emptiness itself becomes the thing that's always grabbing my attention.
Precisely. It looms large. It becomes this chronic, nagging feeling that something is wrong or something is missing. You've accidentally made the background anxiety the foreground of your entire life experience. The context for everything becomes non-presence.
That feeling can make you feel so broken. You
Yeah.
know, like, what is wrong with me that I need constant distraction just to feel okay? I must be the only one that's messed up.
And that's the narrative we absolutely have to interrupt, gently but firmly. Gestalt doesn't pathologize this. We don't look at that fear and say, you're broken.
No.
No, we see the intelligence in it. We see the loyalty of that survival mechanism you built. It's not brokenness, it's an invitation.
An invitation to what?
It's like a flare signal. Sent up by the parts of yourself you had to leave behind. The child self, maybe, the soul's longing, the honest, vulnerable self. They're sending out a call, come back, we're here, we need attention. It's an invitation to return to yourself.
Okay, an invitation. So to understand what those exiled parts are actually waiting for, you mentioned unfinished business. We need to understand the process we keep interrupting, right? Can we walk through that cycle of experience you mentioned? See where the break usually happens?
Yes, absolutely. Understanding the map helps you pinpoint where you habitually jump off the path. It's the blueprint for how we naturally meet needs and complete experiences. There are roughly 7 stages.
Okay, 7 steps.
First, sensation. Something stirs. A physical feeling, tightness in the throat maybe, an ache, that first flicker of loneliness. It's pre-verbal, often.
Just a feeling.
Then second, awareness. You notice it. It comes into focus, rises from the background. You put a name to it, perhaps. I'm feeling tired. Or, I feel a little angry right now.
Okay, sensation, then awareness.
Yeah.
Got it.
Third, mobilization. This is critical. Energy starts to gather in your body in response to that awareness.
Energy, like physical energy.
Yes. Your muscles might tense slightly, your breathing might change, your heart rate could shift, your voice might get a bit tighter or louder. You're gathering the internal resources needed to do something about the feeling or need you just identified. If it's anger, maybe your fists clench slightly. If it's sadness, tears might start to well up. That's mobilized energy.
Okay, I have a feeling this is the point where things go sideways for a lot of us.
Yeah.
We feel the sensation, we even know what it is, but that surge of energy, that feels scary, unsafe.
You've hit it exactly. That's the point of habitual interruption 4. I'd wager most people struggling with this.
Yeah.
We sense, we become aware, but the moment the energy mobilizes, we slam on the brakes. We rarely allow ourselves to move into the next stage.
Which is?
4th stage, action. This is where you actually express that mobilized energy. You speak up, you move your body, you cry the tears, you reach out for comfort, you set the boundary, you take the rest.
And then, if we actually take the action,
Then comes contact, the 5th stage. You fully engage with the world, or with yourself, through that action. It's a resonant exchange. You make contact with the food if you were hungry, with the person if you needed connection, with the pillow if you needed rest.
okay.
6th is satisfaction. The need is met. The energy discharges, settles. The feeling has been acknowledged, honored, expressed. There's a sense of completion.
And
Finally, 7th, withdrawal. You naturally pull back, you rest, you integrate the experience. You return to a state of neutral readiness, a peaceful ground, until the next sensation arises and a new cycle begins.
Okay, so let's make that concrete. I feel tired. Sensation. I realize, wow, I'm exhausted. Awareness. I feel my body wanting to just slump, my eyes wanting to close. Mobilization. But then I think, oh, I should really do those dishes, and I jump up, interrupting before action.
Bingo, you've just created unfinished business. You interrupted the cycle right between mobilization and action.
And the cost of doing that.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
It's huge. That sadness doesn't just vanish because you ignored it. That anger doesn't dissipate because you swallowed it. That need for rest doesn't go away because you push through it. The energy gets stuck. It gets stored.
Where does it go?
Into the body. That's why we feel the physical stuff we started with. The chronic tightness in the shoulders, the shallow breathing, that constant feeling of restlessness or agitation, sometimes numbness, and ultimately that pervasive sense of emptiness. Your body has learned the rule. Don't feel fully, don't need completely, don't stop moving.
The ways we enforce that rule, they're so varied. We rationalize, right? Well, it's not that bad. Or other people have it worse.
Classic minimization. Or we spiritualize it. I should just be grateful this negativity isn't enlightened.
Or numb it. Food, drink, endless scrolling.
Or perform. Create this image of being hyper-productive, always busy, always achieving, never stopping.
That performing thing. Or people-pleasing.
Yeah.
It's like using outward motion to avoid the inner reality, isn't it?
Perfectly put. We shift the focus entirely outward. And that mechanism, that outward focus, often leads directly into another key concept: projection.
Projection. Okay, I've heard that term. How does it fit here?
Projection is essentially when you take an internal feeling, need, or truth that feels unacceptable or too overwhelming to own, and you unconsciously push it outside yourself. You see it or experience it as coming from the external world, not from within you.
Why would we do that?
It's protective in a way. It keeps us safe temporarily from having to face the full intensity of our own inner reality, the depth of our sadness, the power of our anger, the vulnerability of our needs.
So if I'm listening, how might this sound in my own head? What kind of feelings get pushed out, and what do they look like on the outside?
Okay, let's try some examples. Inside, the reality might be, I feel deeply unseen and unloved, and I'm actually furious about it. But that feels too dangerous, too vulnerable. So you project. Instead of feeling, I am empty inside, you might experience it as, my job is empty and meaningless. Or, this town is dead, there's nothing here for me. The feeling is real, but its source is located externally.
Okay. More examples.
Instead of owning, I'm terrified to be alone with the resentment I feel towards my family, it becomes, other people are just so critical and difficult to be around. You see the hostility out there.
See.
Or instead of acknowledging, I'm scared of what I'll find if I stop striving and achieving, the thought becomes, I just need that next promotion, that next relationship, that next project. Then I'll feel content.
And the really devastating part of that is that you're always looking for the solution in the wrong place.
Exactly right. Projection keeps you convinced the fix is external. If I just get the right partner, move to the right city, find the perfect hobby, achieve that next goal, then the emptiness will finally go away.
Which leads to that pattern some people fall into, right? Constantly changing jobs or partners or location.
Yes. Always searching for the missing piece out there, trying to fix the world to soothe an internal ache. But because the void, the unfinished business, was always internal, stored in your body, in your breath, in the silence you kept running from, no amount of external rearranging can truly fill it.
You're trying to solve an inside problem with outside solutions.
And the emptiness just waits, patiently, untouched. So this is the point where we pivot. We shift from just understanding the pattern, the running, the avoidance, to actually creating a different choice.
Okay. Moving towards change.
Yes. And the real revolution in the Gestalt approach here is that we stop trying to fix the emptiness. We stop trying to fill it up or erase it or conquer it.
Stop fighting it.
Stop fighting it. Instead, we focus entirely on changing our relationship with it.
What do you mean?
We shift from seeing it as an enemy to perhaps an ally, from a threat to maybe a teacher.
Enemy to ally, that's a big leap.
Not through force, not through shaming ourselves for feeling it, but through gentle awareness. Through curiosity, through stopping the run, turning around, and beginning to meet what's actually there.
Okay, but let me push back a little here, because this is where it gets really real for anyone listening. When that panic hits, the internal sirens are blaring, the urge to escape, to numb out, it's overwhelming. How do we actually do that? How do we meet it? It's easy to say, be curious, but in that moment of sheer terror or discomfort, how do you stay put without just white-knuckling it?
That is the crucial question, and the answer starts with honoring just how hard it is. We don't pretend it's easy. We acknowledge the fear is real, the defense system is strong and deeply ingrained. So we start small, really small.
Okay, small how?
We can begin with something we might call the witnessing practice, and it's incredibly simple, maybe deceptively so. Set a timer, just 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay.
Your only job for those 5 minutes is to sit. That's it, no goal. No trying to feel peaceful, no correct way to breathe, no forcing relaxation. You just sit, and you witness whatever comes up.
Witness.
Yeah. Notice the boredom. Notice the flicker of panic. Notice the restlessness that makes your leg jiggle. Notice the thoughts that immediately start planning dinner or replaying a conversation. Notice the memories that float by. You're essentially observing your own internal landscape, including your defense mechanisms kicking into gear.
Just watching the machine work, basically.
Exactly. Without judgment, ideally, just observing.
And what about when that really strong urge comes? The hand reaching for the phone automatically, the impulse to jump up and do something. What's the move then? Instead of just fighting it, which feels impossible sometimes.
This is where it gets, well, radical, maybe, and definitely counterintuitive. The key is honoring the defense.
Honoring it, you mean? Giving in?
No, not giving in. And not fighting it either, because fighting it just creates more tension, another interruption. Instead, you notice the urge arise. You say internally, there it is, my impulse to check my email. Or there's that familiar urge to go find some sugar.
Okay, so you name it.
You name it, and then this is the honoring part. You take a breath and you internally acknowledge that part of you. You might even thank it.
Thank it. Thank the urge to escape.
Yes. Silently, you can say something like, hello, old friend. Hello, protector. Hello, distractor. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. I know you learned this job a long time ago and you did it well. You helped me survive.
Wow. Okay, that feels different.
It is different because you're not making the impulse wrong. You're acknowledging its history, its loyalty, and then from that place of acknowledgement, you gently make a choice. You can say to that part, I see you, I appreciate your work, and just for these next few minutes, I'm choosing to stay. I'm choosing to be present.
So you're not battling the defense. You're kind of befriending it, acknowledging its role, and then consciously choosing differently. You move from being run by the impulse to being the one who decides.
Precisely. You're creating a tiny space, a pause where the automatic reaction used to be. You're reclaiming agency. And once you can create even that brief pause, that moment of choice, you open the door to the next potentially most profound step.
Which is?
The radical act of speaking to the emptiness.
Speaking to it.
Literally, we have to stop treating this void, this emptiness, like it's just a concept or a flaw. We start relating to it as if it's a living presence, a part of our own psyche that has been waiting perhaps for decades to be met.
Okay, how does that look?
Yeah.
I sit down, I feel that familiar nod of anxiety or hollowness.
Abba?
Then what?
Then you turn your attention towards that feeling, that sensation, that visceral experience of emptiness. And you speak to it, maybe out loud, maybe silently. Just start with, hello.
Hello, emptiness.
Hello, I'm here now. Just that simple acknowledgement. And then, with genuine curiosity, you ask it the question, the core question. What are you here to show me?
What are you here to show me?
Or what feeling is here? What story have I exiled that needs to be heard now? And then you listen.
Listen how? What am I listening for? An answer in words.
Probably not words initially. You listen with your whole being. With your body, with your breath, with your heart's intuition, what stirs, what memory surfaces, what image comes to mind, what deeper layer of feeling starts to tremble underneath the initial anxiety.
It might not be neat and tidy, I imagine. It might be messy, fragmented, like echoes.
It will almost certainly be messy. It might be the faint echo of a forgotten child feeling utterly alone and needing comfort. It might be the frozen energy of an unheard teenager burning with shame or indignation. It's usually the part of you, the feeling, the need that was exiled because the truth it carried was too much, too inconvenient, too dangerous for the system you were in back then.
And when that part, when that feeling or image emerges, when I feel that old grief or anger or longing start to surface, what then?
Then you respond with contact. This is the missing piece. This is where the healing, the completion happens. You speak directly to that emerging part, that feeling, that younger self.
What do I say?
You offer the presence that was missing back then. You say, I see you now. I hear you. I feel you. I'm here with you now. You don't have to hold this all alone anymore.
Wow.
Oh.
That feels incredibly powerful. Like you're finally giving that abandoned part of yourself what it always needed.
You're offering internal contact, internal presence. And that is integration. The emptiness, you see. It was never really an absence. It was the repository, the container holding the entire history of the self you had to lock away to survive. It was just waiting for you to finally turn around, stop running, and acknowledge its existence.
So meeting it, that's how we complete the cycle we talked about earlier.
Exactly. The stored energy that mobilized grief that never got cried, the righteous anger that never found safe expression, the deep longing that was denied it finally gets to move. It gets to be felt, witnessed, held. It completes its journey. And that leads to what we call Gestalt closure.
Closure. Does that mean the feeling goes away forever?
Not necessarily goes away in the sense of erasure. It means the cycle completes. The energy finds its resolution, its resting place. The need is finally truly met and honored within you. The charge dissipates. And when that happens, the experience of the void transforms.
Transforms how?
It stops feeling like a terrifying black hole, a deficit, an absence. It starts to feel like space, openness, potential, resilience. It becomes fertile ground again, from which new, authentic life, new feelings, new needs, new desires can actually emerge naturally into your present moment awareness.
So the fear signal changes. Instead of danger, it becomes like a signpost, pointing towards something that needs attention.
Beautifully put. It becomes a signal for homecoming, a call to attend to yourself.
The journey doesn't end when the feeling vanishes. It ends when we realize the feeling wasn't the enemy. It was just a lost part of us knocking on the door, asking to come home.
That's it exactly. Hashtag tag tag and outro. And that really is the fundamental shift, the ultimate invitation we're extending to you. You were never, ever broken for fearing the emptiness.
That's such a relief to hear, honestly.
Not fear, it was loyalty. It was an incredibly intelligent, protective energy doing the best job it knew how to do based on past experience. The work now, the transformation, is about learning how to gently redirect that profound loyalty, that innate love, back towards yourself, back to your own breath, back to your honest feeling, present moment body.
And it feels like once you truly meet yourself in that stillness, even for a moment, you can't really unmeet yourself, can you?
You can't unfeel it. You can't unknow it on that deep level.
And when you realize that the space you were so terrified of was actually full of all the stored life, these exiled parts, you stop the frantic running around trying to fill it from the outside.
Why would you need to fill it?
Right. You stop needing to fill the space because you start to feel inherently alive.
Whole.
Right there in the space.
Yeah.
That feels like real liberation. Freedom from that endless cycle of avoidance.
And here's the final thought, perhaps. The beautiful, maybe slightly terrifying, but ultimately liberating truth to carry with you from this deep dive.
Yeah.
The emptiness was never empty. It was full, brimming, actually, full of you. Your unexpressed truth, your deepest longings, your untamed life force, all of it, just waiting, patiently, quietly, faithfully, waiting for you to finally come home to yourself.
Wow.
So the journey isn't really about learning to survive the emptiness anymore. It's about learning to become a resident, to live inside that inner space as your true ground, your birthright.
To claim it as home.
Yes. So the next time the silence falls and that old familiar impulse to run kicks in, just pause, just for a breath. And maybe, just maybe, you can gently ask, "Hello, old friend. Hello, emptiness. What story are you finally ready to tell me today?"